Okay, so we got that injector together. Move my tools here. Got that fuel rail bolted down. All right. So let me just show you what I've done here the past few days, or week or so. So I'm sure a lot of you have seen the vehicle, what it was like before. My catch can used to be here. Methanol tank was here, but I had to move it to make room for this elbow so I can run a filter. So it just turned 90 degrees down, filter down below that. The intake was drilled by the previous owner. It's a secondhand intake I bought from someone from a forum. And when they drilled for injectors, they didn't get them all the same depth. So I had a problem with the injectors not sealing on the fuel rail. So I had to change that. So basically I drilled, you can see here, I drilled the intake, the injector bungs. I drilled those out, bought some injector bungs, aluminum, that were, let's see, 3/4 of an inch wide. So I drilled the hole 3/4 of an inch. Then I threw the injector bungs in the freezer, and then I pulled those out, drove them into the intake, trimmed off the bottom side, you know, yada, yada, yada. Finished that up, sealed them up, and that's it. And that's how I put those in. The fuel rails used to be mounted. You can see a hole right there. There's one back here too. But there was an aluminum rail that went across this that bolted to the intake, and then the rails bolted to that aluminum rail, and it worked somewhat. I mean, it looked terrible, but it worked okay. Once I changed out the injector bungs, that moved my fuel rail, so I had to do away with that and make some new brackets, and they're going to probably be hard to see, but you see the bottom of this bracket right here, and it's basically like an L shape. It comes over and then straight up and bolts to here. So one bolt there, or one nut there, nut and bolt, one nut and bolt back here, same on the other side. But yeah, that's how those are mounted now, and it works great. No issues. What else? I mounted my transmission dipstick. I was actually planning on cutting this shorter and then mounting it on the firewall, but I thought, you know, why go through all that trouble? If you've ever had to cut this braided stainless line with nothing but a hacksaw, you know what I'm talking about. So I thought, you know, I'm just going to make a bracket to mount it here, and that's what I did. Just welded up, you know, a bracket, mounted it on there, and there we go. Works perfect. What else? Like I said, I moved everything back here. I got rid of my blower motor. It died, I'm guessing because of the heat from everything here. So I thought, you know, why put another one in when it's just going to die? So I got rid of it. Made an aluminum plate here to bolt down, and yeah, that's it. So that's pretty much all I've changed from the old setup. Some new O2 sensors. Hopefully they last a little longer. I'm having trouble with those things burning up. But yeah, let's get in it, start it up here, make sure the vacuum leak is gone. And I just see something here. This throttle cable, I need to tighten that down. I think I probably put it on there and then just didn't even tighten it down. Anyway, oh, and look at that. Wow, that explains some stuff. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so let's start this thing up here. Hopefully I got everything right. I don't have any fuel leaks. Nothing like that. So here we go. it is idling at a lower RPM now, which is a good sign that that vacuum leak is gone. Now, of course, when it warms up, it will, you know, go up somewhat. But so we'll jump out here and see if we can hear anything else leaking. So yeah, now that that vacuum leak is gone, I will have to adjust the idle, of course, which is no big deal. It's just this right here. Just turn it in a little bit and it'll fix that. I no longer hear a vacuum leak. So yeah, mission accomplished. We're going to take it out on the road here in a second. As soon as I tighten down that throttle cable and adjust the idle a little bit, we'll take it out on the road. All right, so yeah, no more vacuum leak. All that's good now. It's idling good. I turned the idle up on this a little higher than most vehicles, or higher than I usually do when I've built vehicles. And this one's running around 900 RPMs at idle, 900 to 950. And that's mainly because right now the tune's not finalized. And, you know, until that tune gets finalized, I run a little higher. So from a standstill, it doesn't want to die on me like it does sometimes. But, you know, that's all in the tune, like I said. I did get tuning software from SCT. I'll be digging into that tonight, starting on all my stuff. I've run all of my wire. You got this, it's a disaster in here. I need to really clean everything, but I ran all of my wires for my device, SCT. This comes from the boost and AFR gauge into the SCT unit. And then down here, OBD. Yeah, and then I can, you know, plug my laptop up in here, have everything hooked up, and start doing some tuning. See, next on the agenda is to finish, I guess, my front. This is front brakes. This is rear. So I can front brakes, pull it, lock up the front brakes, and so I can do burnouts. And of course rear brakes for staging. Pull that, lock up the rear brakes, and I can stage, bring the converter up, and then floor it. So yeah, that's what's next. I'll be getting that done. I did lower the vehicle back to how I had it before. I put a new camber kit on it, and it's still, I can't get it right. I have them turned out as far as they'll go, and it's still, the camber's not right. So I'll probably be raising it up a little bit in the front. It's got 3-inch blocks in the back. I'm going to be dropping down to a 275 tire. But yeah, let me get this thing ready, and we'll head out on the road.